Welcome everybody. What's going on? It's your guy Todd Mickens. Welcome to Todd Mickens Let's Talk About It podcast. Listen, where we can come and we can talk about anything. Welcome to the podcast where I am your podcast pastor. Thank y'all for tuning in. We have normally I go live Sunday mornings. Amen. Normally I go live on Sunday mornings at 7:15. This Sunday morning I will be out of town. I will be preaching in Myrtle Beach at Reverend Dr. Sonny Bridges' anniversary in Myrtle Beach. And so we're going to do this tonight. I hope you guys enjoy tonight's program. We look like we are possibly experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties. I'm trying to get the good brother on, none other than someone who is very familiar in the gospel industry, the good brother Keith Wonderboy Johnson. And until I can make sure that we get him on, I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit. We have so many good things to be thankful for. I thank God that you all are here. Like I said, we're going to have a good show tonight. If everything goes according to plan. But nevertheless, I tell you what we can do. We can get some preliminaries out the way. Let me get some commercials going on here. Let's see. Here we go. Let me stop screen on that. Let me do this. Share screen. We're going to go here. And we're going to go here. And we're going to pick this here. Let me make sure it's come up. And here we go. Let's get some of these commercials. Y'all don't mind. Like I said, we're waiting on Brother Keith Wonderboy Johnson to come on through. So y'all just be patient with us. Just be patient with us. He will be here shortly.
Sometimes you've got to do it again. Avery Entertainment presents the return of the You Name It Tour. Pastor Shirley Simpson headlines this dynamic encore. Saturday, November 12th at the Sumter County Civic Center. Also featuring the Canton Spirituals.
We didn't have much,
the Mississippi Boys are coming.
but the Lord been good to me.
McKenzie and the highlights.
I want to live so God can use me anywhere.
The gospel legends, Roy and the Revelation, the return of the You Name It Tour. Saturday, November 12th at the Sumter County Civic Center. Doors open at 2, program begins 3:45. Platinum, VIP, and advanced tickets available. Get them at Eventbrite, Imports Limited in Sumter, Al's Musica, and Undisputed Barbershop. For info, call 803-846-9872.
And blood.
Y'all know that.
Great when experienced once, but sometimes you've got to do it again. Avery Entertainment presents the return of the You Name It Tour. Pastor Shirley Caesar headlines this dynamic encore. Saturday, November 12th at the Sumter County Civic Center. Also featuring
I'm from a poor family.
the Canton Spirituals,
We didn't have much,
the Mississippi Boys are coming,
but the Lord been good to me.
Doc McKenzie and the
I
highlights.
want to live so God can use me anywhere.
The gospel legends, Roy and the Revelation, the return of the You Name It Tour. Saturday, November 12th at the Sumter County Civic Center. Doors open at 2, program begins 3:45. Platinum, VIP, and advanced tickets available. Get them at Eventbrite, Imports Limited in Sumter, Al's Musica, and Undisputed Barbershop. For info, call 803-846-9872.
He now begins to tell.
Hey y'all, I went out to buy diapers and wipes for my nephew, and I was blown away at the prices. The leading brands today are so expensive. So let me introduce you to Cute Leaf. It's a grade A diaper, because we have to have the best. It comes in a pack of 50 for only $12.99. And you don't even have to go anywhere. If you live in the Columbia area and you're buying 2 packs or more, you get same-day delivery for free. Same-day delivery. You can't beat that. So call that number on the screen. Discount Diaper World.
Us what we need in order.
Singing when you see me living right. When you see a good God Almighty. When you see me living right. Lord, I'm trying to do.
Which means you want.
All right. I think we okay. We got it. I see him, and I see him. I see him. Before we bring him on, real quickly, I want to play this video. We're gonna play this video here, and get him on. And like I said, he's taking time out of his busy schedule, so we're not gonna hold him long tonight. But you know him very well. Very well, and I can say he's a I don't want to get like the preacher. He's a good man. Yeah, he's a good man. Let's just give one of my favorite songs right here. One of my favorite songs.
I'm determined to be right for the Lord. Let's make some noise in here for the Lord. If you want to be right, make some noise in here. Everybody, come on.
Nobody can scream like Keith. Nobody. I ain't gonna play the whole thing. Y'all can't handle it.
Right. I just want to be right. I just want to be right. I just want.
Uh-oh. It don't want to be right. Let me see it. Let me get out of some of these other things here. Matter of fact, there we go.
You see me sing my song. I just wanna be right. When you see me walking along, I just wanna be right. Everybody say, oh yeah. Say right. Yeah. Look, you see me singing.
All right. I think that is enough. Hold it, Keith. Keith, don't say nothing else. Don't say nothing else, Keith. They got to get a ticket if they want to hear you sing anything else, Keith. They got to get a ticket. Listen, y'all, we're gonna bring up to the here to the Todd Mickens Let's Talk About It podcast, my friend, like the preacher say, a good man, a God-fearing man, Brother Keith Wonderboy Johnson. Brother, what you laughing for, man? How you doing?
Man,
Come on, man. Listen.
You all right with me, Todd Mickens.
Listen, hey, you definitely all right with me, man. I appreciate you just taking your time out to sup with this for a while. Me and you talked maybe a month or two ago, talking about doing this, and I had particular conversation I wanted to have, and we're gonna get to that before I let you say anything. I want to read a couple of things from your Rolodex. I just put it like that, from your memoir. All right, yeah. Let me just read Keith Lamar Johnson on May 17th, who goes by the stage name Keith Wonderboy Johnson. And this here says is an American gospel musician, which that means singer, of course. And you do play something as well too, right?
Yeah. I come from that world you in. I play drums, I play bass, a little keyboard.
Okay. It says he started his solo music career in 1998 with the release of Through the Storm. Huh, Greg? God, listen, he has released 14 albums over the course of 13 years. Now, this might be off a little bit because I'm pretty sure you got. Let me name a couple albums: Through the Storm, Our Gift to You, Live and Alive, Would You, Tribute to Quartet Legends, Send a Revival, New Season, Our Gift to You, Unity, Just Being Me, The Best of Keith Wonderboy Johnson, Stronger Than Ever, Back to the Basics, Chapter 2, Keep Pushing. Man, Keith, what? How you got time for all this stuff, man?
It's what I love to do, man. When you love it, you don't even look at it like that as time passing. It's just a passion, man.
Yeah. Listen, I want to jump straight in it because I know you are a busy man. The question I asked a couple months ago, I said, Keith, talked to Keith on the phone. I said, hey, man, I just my concern for the industry, our genre, quartet, right? I said, it seems that the respect for, and I'm jumping straight in. I know people think that we're gonna talk about flowers and cookies. We just going straight in. The respect for the older generation that has paved the way in quartet has been lost somewhere in the sauce with the younger generation. And I'm gonna say what I mean, and you can tell me you'll look at it. I remember going to programs and I would be at all to see or walk up to God bless his soul, Joe Lagun, Willie Banks, Willie Neal, or anybody. Even when we first saw you, remember we had just moved back from North Carolina. This was in 1992, 93, down in Camden. I was at awe of being in the presence of somebody who I heard on the radio, seen on TV. nowadays, I don't think there's no at allness or no respect level to where the ones who done been out there, because I call you one of the pioneers of gospel, not just quartet, because you reach all aspects. You can turn on any gospel radio station. I don't care how contemporary it is. Somewhere along down the line, you're gonna hear "I'm gonna hide, be high." Woo! I'm talking about. So listen, and I remember what you said then, and it wasn't so much as you individually, but you are a part of the ones who have paid, because I don't think people realize how far you go back even before you started your solo career. So I know that was a lot, but pick it up from where you started from. I'm talking about step to step, singing with this group, singing with family, and then rolling to starting your solo career, and how you had to pay homage and show respect to the elders of the game back in the day. And I see it now, especially when you be around Harvey. You still show Harvey as well as Paul and the others the uttermost respect. Talk about that.
Well, I mean, to me, you being humble and showing respect is the way. You're not gonna get around that. And I just try to show my generation behind me that, hey, I was young once too, younger, and I had my ideas and my aspirations, but you still can't, those you have to respect those, because those are the ones who pay, how they say, they paved the way. They're the ones who did it to make you want to do it. So,
Right.
I just believe in showing the utmost respect. So I was the type, we might be in the same area age-wise, besides Muhammad Ali and Reggie Jackson. Besides those two, my icons were the quartet singers.
Right. Right.
Was Joe Lagarde, Willie Neal, Clarence Fountain, the Dixon Hummingbirds, Swanee Quintet, all that, all of those. So I promise you, if they would have had dolls, I would have had them.
Yeah.
I would have had day dolls, whatever. So, and I feel, because that's who I came up wanting to be like. And, I definitely give it a lot to my dad, because he the one who started me in it. I'm a quartet baby. I came out the womb. My first words was, "Can I get a witness?" And
Yes, sir.
yes, sir. So, and but when I came up, my dad had a barbershop, which a lot of people don't know. I was born in New York.
Right.
My dad is from Clarendon County, Somerton,
Okay.
Carolina. So, he came up with so I'm rich in history. I know all about your Nero Tyndalls and all them old names. That's who I came up in, from South Carolina, and then New York, the T. Roos, and all these names. So that's why I say you can't forget about your history. So, and then I'm honored to know that history, that I was able to say I was like raised up under knowing a lot of these guys, and they knew me since I was a baby. And then, like, for example, like a historic place like the Apollo.
Right.
They redone it now. When you walk into the Apollo, in the lobby, they have this picture collage of like some of the biggest artists who have appeared at the lobby. And do you know on that wall is the Swanee Quintet?
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
That means they are one of the biggest artists, not in music, period. Now,
Right.
That to appear at the Apollo Theater.
Right.
So we have to honor and respect our history. So I'm just big on that.
Yeah. Then we have, at one time, I remember years ago, I think matter of fact, I'm pretty sure you was there, in Alabama. doing a quartet showcase. There was a guy named Stewart.
Yeah.
Didn't he have some type of quartet historian that was getting all the information together? What you ever know what happened with that?
Yeah, he started his own basically quartet Hall of Fame, and he was reaching out to people, getting object from him. So he was able to actually sit down and have a conversation in his last days with a Claude Jeter. And you know, I was honored. Like I was honored that my grandfather, who was so vital in my life, one of his favorites was the Dixon Hummingbirds, and I literally got a chance to sit down and talk with and get to know Ira Tucker. I was blessed to, you know, one of his last shows living was in Chicago, and I was on a concert with him. And the crazy part about it, I didn't think nothing bigger. I felt it was disrespectful. Now, he was opening up for me, but I was steady talking to him, you know, honoring him. And then I learned that, you know, watching PBS as a little kid, that was Ira Tucker doing the voiceovers, singing on PBS and Electric Company and all like that. So, hey, man, quartet history is rich. And even going forward, you know, so we can't let it die. They sometimes they try to, you know, that's our history. So they try to put, you know, quartet in a back burner, but no, it's still you can't talk about gospel history without talking about quartets, man.
Yeah, I let me ask you this question. With where do you see quartet right now? And what I mean by that, because you know, I don't believe quartet will ever die. I just think it's too much, you know, it's something about quartet music that even the hip hop people, if you love music, when you hear that, it's just something that get them shoulders to bouncing. But where do you is it a big shift in the sound and the style, or do you still hear um that basic hard? Because to me, I love the new stuff. Now I'm not against it, but to me, if we ain't got that, you know, that lock pocket, we can have all the fancy, you know, the auxiliary 15 keyboards and all that. But what's the importance of us keeping? Because there are groups that are still keeping that sound. What's the importance of sticking to or keeping that true traditional quartet sound?
It's the root of gospel, man. I mean, it's not. I'm sorry. It's the root of music. Period.
Mm.
You know, you don't realize, like when they first came over and how they say invaded the U.S., the Rolling Stones, they were into quartets.
Right.
You know, the Rolling Stones literally took. They offered the Volunteers to go on tour with them. They took Dorothy Norwood and different people that have quartet backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, think about it, man. Sam Cooke is one of the greatest singers in music history.
Yeah.
Started
Yeah.
in quartet. You know what I'm saying? And then you look now, it's even to the daytime, man. Like, you know, you see people all over the world, man. I'm here to be the bridge. I love it. I love seeing it. I look at right now, Babyface is one of the greatest minds in music history, period. But and I know 3 friends of mine personally that their background come from quartet that plays along that is high assistance in Babyface, his show today. You go all over the world and you'll find people that love quartet, man. From you see Snoop Dogg had a quartet group on his label at his mother's funeral. He told how he grazed up on the Wayans brothers, and you know, I personally was at a concert, and at that time, Joe, the R&B artist named Joe, was one of the biggest artists out there. He came to the concert, and he cried like a little baby just to meet Joe Lagan, because Joe is from Alabama. Both Joes were from Alabama, and I mean, you listen to people that have made, you know, I seen a video of one of my childhood big brothers, Joey Williams, is the music director for the Five Blind Boys of Alabama now, and I saw coverage of Prince came to the show to see the Five Blind Boys, and he grabbed his guitar and went on stage and started driving with the Five Blind Boys. This Prince,
Wow.
now.
Right. See, listen, Shayna, what is Shayna Marie said something that I definitely want to get into. I don't think people understand how much history you got. I done heard you talk on several platforms, whether it was from somebody's radio show or TV show or Clubhouse. You got some history. You know some things or done experience some things that people have no idea about relationships that was formed through the quartet industry. I mean, I'm talking about. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give me something as far as people that may be in individual groups now. And I know your mind might be racing, but people that may be in individual groups now, but started out singing together way back in the day.
Like I found out, like they have they got a movie that just came out, and I'm blessed. I'm so thankful that HBO Max has included it into their thing now. It's called How They Got Over, and it's starring. It tells you the history of the Fairfield Four, the Dixon Hummingbirds, Spencer Taylor, and Spencer Taylor, who's still living, who's still singing on the road now.
Yes,
The
yes.
history of highway QCs and everything, man. So I just love, you know, the history of ours. And you know, I come up, my generation, look how big he became, but he was a star, and I came up with the little Cedrics and you know, we've been childhood friends by now. And then I have friends right now, you know, one of my childhood friends, Gene Peoples, right? One of the biggest things that started this year off in music was the Culture Tour. New Edition was the headliner. Charlie Wilson and I'm about to call his name, his old name, Jodeci. All that is connected to you know, quartet history. Right. Now here it is. My childhood friend Gene Peoples was the mastermind behind the scene with New Edition, controlling all the stems and all like that. What people don't know, Charlie Wilson I've talked to him. Charlie Wilson sung quartet.
He sound. I was just getting ready to say he sound like he sound like a quartet.
And of course, you know, Jodeci. That was Little Cedric and the Haley singers.
Yeah.
So, and you know, you got so many people. Like, you know, I'm proud. Even looking to today, you know, I look at your fam, and I'm proud of him, man. When you look at, you know, he's like the hottest thing in Southern Soul right now. And it was like, you know, King George come from quartet, man.
Listen, I was just telling somebody today, King George. Of course, him, Justin, Colton, Lil Roy, Raynard, Big J, bless his soul. All of those guys went to school together.
Yep.
King George or AJ Holiday's family, the Wards, that's the church that my grandmother went to. I could come out my mom's back door and look at King George's house. These are people who are family, and I'm so proud of them. But and did it like you say, he is originated deep down in his soul, in his soul, I ain't say his soul, Keith. Deep down in his soul is quartet down to the T.
Yeah,
And you can almost hear it in the singing.
Before him, like my boy started Vic Allen, which is a name over there. He started out with the Canton Spirituals.
Right.
Before that, and Lamar, what people don't realize, I met Lamar's, we might have been about 8 years old. And that's the nephew of the son of Leonard Williams, which is an original member of the Williams Brothers. And all these guys, and man, listen, not just in gospel, quartet has a rich history in music only. Look at the Staples Singers. If you see that movie, they'll tell you they had to get the Staples Singers away from quartet, and they were glad to send them over to the R&B because Mavis Staples, they didn't want to see her coming. She was rough on the quartet boys, man.
Yeah.
So, you got to look at it, history, period, man. You got a lot of people. Quartet has played its part in music, American music history, period.
Yeah. Speaking of history, let's go back to the first time that you quote unquote charted on the radio. You remember the year that was? What was the first time you really knew, wow, I'm doing something good? You can sing, you can get your stuff out there, but when did you realize, hey, I'm my voice, Keith Wonderboy Johnson, the group, but when you realized, what year was that you knew that, okay,
Well, that was 1998 when the first time we came out with High Behind the Mountain. That's the first time I actually tried it. But you got to see, it goes back.
Hold on, we lost the volume. Oh, there we go.
There you go. I had to wait on God's timing because as a little boy, Shirley Caesar came up to me. I remember my daddy took my kindergarten picture and blew it up and put Little Wonderboy. That was my first merchandise. My kindergarten picture. And I remember signing it for Shirley Caesar. And she took me by my head and prayed for me and just said, you're going to be somebody one day. And from Joe Lagarde, he the one helped, him and Johnny Martin helped name me the Little Wonderboy. And I have stories. My first song I ever sung was Jesus, You've Been Good to Me, because I was used to seeing, I didn't even know who they were just my dad's friends, Willie Neal Johnson and Paul Beasley. So from Clarence Fountain, all these guys, they knew me since I was little. So all of them been telling me since, I was a little boy that something's going to happen. So but in 98, when it took place, and the Lord said it's time, then, the Lord started blessing. When we dropped Be Right and then came back with the next album, Tribute to the Quartet Legends, they came back and told me, they said, you might not be the first, but you're not that many people has had 2 CDs simultaneously on Billboard charts at the same time. So we had 2 of them on there at the same time. So, and I thank God for just, he was just making things happen. And next thing you know, I went on and started doing movies and went on to plays, worked with Tyler Perry and other different, Lord just blessed me to do things that, just made my dreams become a reality, man.
Wow. Okay, let's from besides with your pops or your immediate family, who's the first group you remember helping out or being a part of? Besides your group and besides your pop group, and I'm talking about groups that's well known or not well known, all the way from Brooklyn to wherever. Who's some of the groups you've been a part of?
Like I said, I started when I was like 5 years old. So when all the professional groups would come to New York, they knew me as that little kid running around.
Okay.
Right. So then, before I got more training when I became a teenager, because I started playing the drums in church when I was like 5. So by the time I was in high school, like 14, I taught myself how to play bass. So at that time, myself, my other childhood friend, the guy I told you about, Gene Peoples, my god brother Spanky Williams, all of us, we started this thing we called ourselves the Replacements. We started a business card, and we would let the professionals know if one of your guys is missing, just let us know, and we'll replace them. And during that time, we would travel into like the New York area. We started sitting in with Willie Neal Johnson, Dorothy Norwood, Timothy Wright, Rand Allen. It was just I was just getting so much knowledge was pouring into Mighty Clouds of Joy. So much knowledge was getting poured into it. And it was all a learning process. Everything, it don't come overnight. So I think this young crew, they think they too stuck on the microwave mentality. They think it happens overnight. And no, man, it don't work like that.
And maybe that's why I feel that the respect level ain't there, because now they don't have to wait, or they don't have to go to the nice big studio. I just put like, because everybody got a studio now. I mean, if you got a phone, you can do everything you need to do on the phone. So now a lot of them feel like they don't need nobody.
Exactly.
I can do this, but I remember a conversation that we had, and you gave some advice to somebody like, hey, get to the good, what you're doing is good, but you need to invest some time and go to the quality places so you can have a real quality. Now, people, as long as they get recorded, they don't care. They feel like they don't need. Let me see, how can I put it? You know how they say the gatekeepers.
They get 5 likes on social media. They think they hot.
Right. I be seeing a little post where people are saying that groups that's just coming out now charging X amount of money as if they have been out. How do you, as an artist, of course you paid your dues. Your price is your price. It ain't no thinking about it. But what's the recommendation, or what's the advice to these younger artists, younger groups that may be good? They good. They got all the bells and the whistles, all the kicks in the music, all the vocals. They got a nice, pretty van they can travel in. They good. But what advice do you give them when they are asked price-wise? How much is your group? I mean, 'cause I know things differ, but they can't expect to get the same thing a Keith Wonderboy get.
Well, they expect it, but I mean, sometimes you got to know, you got to earn. One of the greats, New York / South Carolina's
I know who you.
Tommy Ellison used to always tell man, don't outprice yourself.
Yeah.
So, you gotta know, you gotta use common sense, man. Do you want to build a career?
Yeah.
Or you want to be a hot for right now?
Matter of fact, that's gonna lead into my next question: is how important is relationship from quartet groups to promoters to radio to pastors, churches? How important is relationships?
It's key, man. It's all like you said, all of it balanced off. You gotta have well balanced. So you need to have that relationship. First, you gotta have a pastor. So you need to have a relationship with your pastor. Your pastor has to know what you're doing, so he can give you, the wisdom and the guidance and the covering. And first thing you have to have is a relationship with the Lord to know why you're doing this.
Right.
So, because trust me, if you're doing it for fame or fortune, it'll show, and it'll fade. So relationships is everything.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have those relationships. Trust me, a lot of times having a good relationship sometimes do you better than a hit record.
Right. Let me ask you a question. The difference between showmanship and anointing and talent, because every group has to have some type of showmanship on stage. You have to be some type of talented, but where's the difference with the showmanship, the talent, and then because we can go to a program and because the group hitting, most people say, "Oh man, that group anointed." And a lot of times they got good showmanship and they talented, but they don't have the anointing, which I think a lot of groups depend more on the talent and not the power from on high. Because
Right.
most of the times, and I know you probably done either did it or either done said it. Most of the time, a lot of them they just want to get that house.
Right.
I know that's one of the sayings. Matter of fact, and tell me some of those old school quartet sayings when they say somebody, like say you in the back with all the greats and they hear music and they hear whatever group on that stage and that house is tearing up. What was some of the quartet sayings you used to hear?
Of course, you hear that when such and such is busting the house, and such is touching the people. But like you said, you gotta have a well balance between all the three. Cause some of it, you gotta be just an overall professional. You gotta have showmanship. You gotta have talent, and then the anointing, of course, that comes from God. As far as definitely as for the talent, it's some things God will give you something that's specially just for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe can't nobody beat you being you, especially if you just wait on God to give it to you and let Him perfect what He's gonna do through you. So it come out to being well balanced. You just gotta be well balanced, man.
I heard what you just said. I heard the late great Joe LeGun say those same words we was in Charlotte. I remember it was me, my daddy, my uncle, my cousin Jamie, who plays the keyboard for my daddy right now, and Justin and Colton. And Jamie was still in the car seat, but he was old enough to understand music. I remember because it was Jamie, Justin, Colton in the middle, and I was up against the window. We traveled, and they was handing out trophies at the end of the program. And Joe wouldn't even come out on stage when it was time to hand the trophies out because Joe was like, "Yo, I ain't come here for that." But he finally did come out. And he said, "Listen," he said, "Willie can't beat me in what I do, and I can't beat him what he do." He said, "We are two different people. We doing the same thing, but it ain't no competition." I don't think people really understand that. Listen, it's everybody can get that house, but you ain't got to be in competition with each other. Not to a sense, because I don't want to seem like I'm so whole out that. But I understand you don't want to be the worst group out there.
Exactly.
Everybody want to hear, "Hey man, hey, well, such and such got that house tonight." Such and such. Tell me this then. Without and I'm gonna let you go. We about to embark upon an hour.
Well balanced, Todd. It still go back to being well balanced, and really, iron sharpens iron. So sometimes it's your brethren to, make you want to do it even better.
Right.
And that's how sometimes the ones ahead of you, they'll give you little tips. Now, I'll be honest with you. That's why I tell the younger, one of my front sayings that I'm known for now is, if you want to learn how to be a good plumber, you don't go ask a dentist. Right. You go ask an established plumber.
Yeah.
Somebody who do it. So I cherish the sit-down talks that I would have with Joe Lagarde, Harvey Watkins Jr., Willie Neal Johnson, the Tommy Ellisons, Percy Griffin. I'll be honest with you, it ain't no professional group out there that I'm blessed. I got a chance to talk to basically everyone, and each one I can tell you something I learned from them.
Right.
Each one. Right. So I wouldn't be so busy to try to tell them like I'm look at me. So right now, right. I'm better than that. No, I would just try to learn and listen to them. I believe there's a reason why you got 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
You can learn more by just listening.
Right. Right.
And I do, by the way, I'm hard, and it's all with love. I have a camaraderie with your family. Like, to me, Jamie is the most professional loc that I know.
See, I already know where this is going. Soon as you said the word professional, I knew what was coming next, because you and him, anytime I'm around y'all two, y'all always going, and that's the first thing come out of somebody's mouth.
And I think, and I see so much great things that the Lord is doing through them and with them right now. And I definitely wish them the best, because I see what I mean. I see how it's the look in their eyes. Right. And I see how they cherish what was before them. And like you said, a lot of us, how you gonna disrespect somebody who they the ones that made you want to do this? So the same excitement, I can get with them. So a lot of the generations, the new generations, I see, how they strive to be like, such a certain people. So that's how I say, you just gotta have balance, man. I really do. I love this with all my heart.
Yeah, I know, man. Let me ask you a question. And once again, guys, thank y'all for tuning in to the Todd Mickens Let's Talk About podcast. We got one of the pioneers of gospel, not just quartet, pioneers of gospel music, Mr. Keith Wonderboy Johnson. Keith, tell me, please, sir, and I'm gonna call out this person's name because you already said he from New York and from South Carolina. All depends on where the program was at. Tell me one of those good Tommy Ellison funny stories. What was one of those stories you can tell and be like, man, I wish y'all was there when this happened?
I tell you what, okay, this was when it was real popular. They would have those programs in the ballpark. Mm-hmm. And see, one thing about those old vets, they were key to keep you humble. Right. So I remember I was on one, right? And I had just finished singing. And I was standing next to Tommy. I had come over to him, and he was telling me, and he was like, Junior, you're doing good. You're getting better. I see you getting good. You're getting better. So then a group of ladies that's like quartet supreme supporters. That's one thing I say about quartets. We have the best supporters in the world. Mm-hmm. And they came over to Tommy, like, hey, Tommy, good to see you. And he was, hey, baby, how y'all doing? And then they were like, yeah, we a little late. We had to stop here. And they said, what we missed so far? I'm standing right next to him, and I just finished singing. And he said, oh, no, don't worry now, baby. None of the majors sung yet. Don't worry about it. You ain't missing.
Humbling, right?
Yeah. He called me local to my face.
Yeah. Steve, come on, hey. What you did in that moment, you just laughed and you was like,
I was just standing like, well, it keep you humble.
All right, listen. Okay, listen. Another one. I've heard stories. Now, luckily, I haven't had to go in the checkup room much in my time. Even when I had my own group, I never went in the checkup room. I always sent somebody else. Even when I was with my dad group, I never dealt with the checkup room because we started out, it was my dad doing it, and then my baby brother took over the checkup room. I know you done been in some checkup rooms
Oh,
with
yeah.
some professionals, female and male. Tell me the most, without calling names, or you call it, tell me the most funny experience you done seen in the checkup room where somebody might have been like, listen, listen, don't play with my money. I don't care. Yeah, go ahead, tell it.
Another one, Tommy Ellison was another one. He get you in that room and he'll say, let me say, we're gonna split this money with me, Robert Blair, Charlie Barnwell, that was the Swannies.
Yeah.
So then you be like, hey, what about my group? You ain't got no hits out, champ. You going to work tomorrow. We at work now. So you can't get none of this money. I ain't splitting none of this money. I remember the day he put me in the split, I called home and told my daddy, I said, I done made it. Tommy Ellen put me in the split. And then I promise you, the one that taught me, the first one was Dorothy Norwood.
Okay.
She was like,
Okay.
baby, as soon as you get it, you went to the room yet? She was like,
Yeah.
go straight to the checkup floor.
Right. Before you sang, right?
I remember I did a show with her. I played for her.
Uh-huh.
And the promoter was trying to come up short. And he was like, she was like, now this my money. You got their money. Hey man.
Oh man.
I done seen it all. Some of them, they'll let you know. If you think you professional, they got a way of showing you.
Yeah.
They got a way of showing you still got some more to come.
Yeah. Oh man. I can only imagine you got so many stories just in the back of your head. I seriously think, Keith, that somebody needs to one day sit down with you and just pick your brain for information to add to the knowledge of our quartet history. Because like you said, you was one of the only ones. I mean, you were just turning 50 or close to 50. So you really still considered a young man that's been around a long time.
I just been around a long time.
Man, okay, let's go back. We talked about the first time you charted. What about the first time you received your first major awards, and how many have you received?
Oh yeah, I was out of control. I remember each one. Because we won our first Stella. Actually, I won a award. Now that meant more to me because before we won the Stella, out in 2005 for the song "Let Go and Let God Have His Way," I won BMI most played song of the year. We won Song of the Year. Now a lot of people know the presence of the Lord is here. Byron Cage sung it and Kurt Carr wrote it. But I was standing next to Kurt Carr. I got the same medallion. I got the same plaque for Let Go and Let Go. Those were the two most played songs that year in gospel. So I was shocked and fell out for that. I was like, oh wow. So but I was just like, hey man, I really just started thanking God because it just showed if you just be patient and go by and do what you're supposed to do. When God said it's time, He'll make your dream a reality, man.
So you now I'm as far as I can remember, you how many Stellas you got?
6.
6 Stellas. They I did have my sound for hand clappers up here, but I ain't even got that. Man, six Stellas. I remember one time be like, Stellas this year. Oh, we already know Keith gonna win. Everybody's like, oh yeah, well, we already know Keith gonna win one. It was just, but I don't think people understood. You had good music, you had good projects. I see Bruce Robinson, Pastor Bruce Robinson, Pastor City Hope talking about when I was calling you young, he said I was young is a stretch. So everybody want to call you old. He talking about young is a stretch. I still think you're young as heck. I'm 45. I'll be 46 this year. So I hope I'm still young. Yeah.
Let them know. Yeah. Let them know. But people ain't realizing, just do good music. And when God said it's time, I won 6, but they ain't talking about how many times I was there and I lost.
Right. Nobody
but hey, I said in God's timing.
Right.
Whenever God says time, it's time.
Yeah. Speaking of road trips, I know you done been in a minivan, many cars with equipment and everything. Car might seat 5 people, but if y'all got to get to the program, I'm pretty sure you had 7 or 8 people with guitars, amps, keyboards, or whatever. Tell us maybe one time that it almost was real bad because somebody fell asleep. Who was it? Where were you at?
Okay. I remember our first trip to Mississippi.
Oh,
from New York to Mississippi, that take a day.
Yeah.
And our first time we went, we didn't wait for it was time for the Lord to send us. We was being fast. And we went, and man, I promise you, in 4 days, we barely made $300.
What?
I started praying. I said, Lord, just let me make enough. And I was so green. I had just got introduced to Waffle House. I said, Lord, just let me make enough to go back so I can get something to eat. And then after the last day, I was so through till I still held the record. I was like, when I get back to New York, I quit. And I drove from Tupelo, Mississippi. We was on the New Jersey Turnpike when I let that wheel go.
Great goodness. Oh,
so,
man.
I was like, we had some good trips, but we had some disastrous ones too.
Hey, listen, I don't think people realize for entertainment or performance period, the importance of good transportation. How many times do you remember a specific time because of transportation not being dependable that you was on the way to a program and just shut down in the middle of nowhere and hoping you can find somebody or hoping you can call somebody to come get you?
Well, I'm thinking, I promise you this. I thank God I didn't have too much experience with that because I believe in quality transportation. Now, the first time was I was a teenager. We used to go down south, come to South Carolina once, twice every year. My dad, that's why I don't believe in letting cousin Earl, I don't work on the truck or the van or nothing like that. No. So we let my dad let his friend work on the van, and the van we got to South Carolina, and the van broke down in between the exits. Man, I
Wow.
was so hungry. Then when I walked to the next exit, I thought it was the exit. It was a rest area, and there was nothing at that rest area. So I went in there. I said, I'm so hungry. I get some soup. I put my money in the machine, and it was some chicken flavored water. And then,
Oh,
that's
man.
when. And the one thing about it, with you being black, you hear that famous song. You just be standing there and you hear them cars going past you. Zoom.
Oh, man.
By the time I took over, the first thing I got was AAA. If I break down, come
Right,
get me.
yeah.
Come get me.
Oh, man.
I
Man.
can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, some of those, which is probably one of the main things I miss with being with my pops and my brothers, them, or even when I had my own group. The conversations and the things that you would find to talk about in these vans, in the hotel rooms, back in the dressing rooms, some of the fun. It's like so many. You find out so much about each other. Even the ones you thought you knew, you be like, "What?" I mean, I can only imagine the many stories that's gonna always stay between just the one who was just in those particular groups, because that's just what it's supposed to be. I mean, some things ain't meant to be out, and I can just imagine some of the times being in those settings where you just laugh till you cry, till you cry, till you laugh. Tell me this: who out of well known person, or either just who was the person that you knew after a program? You better not let them get up under the wheel, because they ain't gonna last no more than 10 minutes. You automatically knew. You telling this person, no, don't get up under, no, because you already know they ain't getting past 10 miles. Who was one of those persons you knew?
Me? Really? After a while, only time my guys will really want me to drive is either bad weather or if we late. Now
Right,
they
right.
know. If I'll pull over that next exit and I just sit there. And,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
and then I mean, like I said, life is too short. Most guys that know me, I love a good laugh. So
yeah.
I'm the one try to make it, something to laugh about. And then I remember when we used to get mad with the young man. He liked to strive with the young people now. We call him Dewan. He sang with the Swanee Quintet now. So
Right.
Dewan was so young at first when we was traveling, he didn't have his license. And
Right. Okay.
so we used to get mad with him. We were like, hey man, you got to get your license. You got to learn how to drive. You got to pull your shit. So once he got his license, we had to leave to go. So you know how they had the loop around the city?
Yeah.
When we was on that loop, we gave him the wheel at the loop.
Yeah.
Man, we woke up 5 hours later. I filled up the gas. We woke up 5 hours later. He pulls over like he been driving 5 hours. Then he was like, yeah, I need some coffee, man. We should be real far. I looked at the sign. He drove that loop for 5 hours. We still in North Carolina. We was on our way to Missouri.
Come on, man. Not the one. No, not Mr. Professional.
I was so mad with him, man. That joker drove that loop in North Carolina, that 440 loop, 5 hours.
Wait a minute. How in the world he just kept getting off? He just 5 hours.
Like, you didn't notice, you ain't see the same sign. So that's one. We wouldn't let Dewan drive because he didn't know how to read the interstates and nothing. One time he came out, the whole interstate came to the sign, came to an end. The road came to an end. I was like, oh no, we can't let him drive no more.
Yeah.
So I got a recent story. So man, I almost got Jamie a beating.
Oh no! Come on!
I came in the dressing room right before they in New York. I believe this might have been their first time. This is a major show. Shirley Caesar, Mighty Clouds of Joy. I was there. So me and Jamie, I walk in there. I'm joking with him. I'm like, Jamie, you better not mess up and miss this house. But Reverend Mickens is standing there. He's serious. Stop playing, boy.
That's the
Hell, if people know the stuff that happened backstage, man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Hey, I'll tell you, that is, I tell anybody, I'd be lying if I said I don't miss it. But it's certain elements of this thing, man, that some of the stories, sometimes we done stop and got something to eat, sometimes you done broke down, sometimes you get to a hotel and the hotel room look like somebody done been fighting up in there. You'd rather go sleep in the van. Listen, speaking of hotels, I know you're fairly young. Did you experience any of the racism that our older brothers and sisters of entertainers? Okay. Tell us about that, because I know you. I consider you fairly young. Pastor Bruce Robinson, he is young. Okay.
Being, with us being from New York, we got to experience how it really felt to be down south. And then, at first we had that New York tag, and they pulled us over. It used to be one cop that kind of knew we was coming. He used to pull us over, every time. That's why I always make a strong point to this young generation. You gotta pray and you gotta stay correct, man. If your license ain't sweet, don't be driving.
Yeah.
All it takes is one time for them to catch you in the wrong. And they try to make an example of it. That's why, I try to tell, the guys to keep proper insurance and all like that, man. Because, we done seen it. We especially going through the southern states, and then even like being in the middle of nowhere in Ohio, and it can get rough. So we definitely experience racism, because believe it or not, even in 2022, racism still exists out there. So you got to be prayed up and you got to stay correct, man.
Yeah. What advice you got for? Because I know everybody wants to protect themselves out on the road. Rights of bearing arms. I know up in New York, y'all got some strict rules about guns.
Right.
What advice you have to young groups? Because I do understand people want to protect themselves. What advice you have to them about, hey, you can protect yourself all you want, and better yet, how to handle yourself when you do come up north. But
you got to learn the laws. That's for first. You can't make up your own laws. You got to learn your laws. Yeah. And then, you got certain states or sister states and certain are not. So just because, you can have, like, I'll be honest with you, what's valid in South Carolina and Georgia, that isn't valid in New York.
Right.
So you have to know and be correct. Because again, it's not their job to give you a break. Right. Because sometimes all they got to do is catch you one time in the wrong, and they really do their best to make you pay for it. So I tell you, listen, sometimes yes, you have to protect yourself, but you also have to obey the law. Learn the laws. Don't make up your own, but learn the laws.
Yeah. Listen, Keith, man, I ain't gonna hold you. We done been going on an hour and 10 minutes, and like I said, I just appreciate you spending this time to come to my show, the Todd Mix Let's Talk About It podcast. Before we go, let everybody know what you got going on right now. I know you said you spoke about being in movies and stuff earlier, but you got anything that's lately going on movie wise, more
Yeah,
projects,
I
more
was.
things.
I released 2 movies this year. One's called Perfect Justice. That's on Tubi, the Tubi app, and the other one was Injustice. That was featuring Bishop of at Word of God. Bishop, man.
Oh man, Bishop.
Yeah, man. And you know that's my boy. You get ready to get me beat up.
No, Ward. Eric Ward. Eric. Bishop Eric Davis. Eric Davis.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Eric Davis.
Sorry, Bishop. my brother, Bishop Eric Davis, he blessed put me in a movie that came out. That came out this year too. It's a great movie, man. It's a great movie. And I have a project that just came out, Restructure, Renew, Reunion. And that's out everywhere now. Got a few different projects, and I'm in support. My big brother, Sky, Gene Peoples at Sky City, got a major recording coming up the second Sunday in December. My boys, the Mickens, is doing a live recording.
Yeah,
and I plan on being there and supporting them. And listen, man, quartet ain't going nowhere. We going to, and it's gonna get better and better, man. We gonna keep God first, and it's gonna get better and better.
That's what's happening, man. Hey, man, listen, man. I appreciate your time, man. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you just from the first phone conversation to the last one we had. I just thank you for being a true, speaking your mind, speaking your truth. And I look forward to working with you in the future. I tell you, I got some things that I want to do and have planned for possibly at the church. I'm trying to work on that. I was just talking to our MD about some
together
stuff.
and go fishing and hunting.
Oh, oh, so now you on Roy? So what? Me, you and Roy? I don't know if you want to go with me. Me and you, Roy, go fishing and hunt. Yeah, okay, all right, yeah, like Roy said, come on out here in these swamps. Come on out in these backwoods. But listen, man, I appreciate you, man. I love you. I'll be getting with you about some other stuff. You got any last words for the people?
Holla at me on Instagram at Keith Wonderboy Johnson. My Facebook artist page is at Keith Wonderboy Johnson. And you can even email me if y'all struggling. It's at Keith Wonderboy Johnson at gmail.com. Holla at me. New project is at all digital outlets. Restructure, Renew, Reunion. Check it out.
You know what? This is gonna be the last question. What was the biggest difference in between how you had to put out music from recent 5 to 10 years ago to the streaming now? What was the biggest difference?
It's a big difference.
I mean, it's for the better of the artists.
CD sales is a lot better than streams.
Oh, really?
But I mean, you have to adapt, and the world is always changing. So you always have to adapt, and don't get caught behind the 8 ball. Go forward, grow, learn, always learn, and keep going. And like my song say, keep pushing.
Keith, hey man, I appreciate you, man. I think it, Keith, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna stay on for 5 more minutes and thank everybody. Matter of fact, while we on here, I'm gonna just go down the line. Thank you, Francis B. Wade, for showing up to this good brother here, Keith Wonderboy,
That's
Devin
the
Jones.
person brought me to Columbia. Francina.
Radio Francina.
She was gospel Francina. She the first one brought us to Columbia.
Matter of fact, I just saw a picture of y'all not too long ago, right?
Yeah, I was a teenager. That's what
okay.
I was a teenager then.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I saw a picture on Facebook about 2 weeks ago.
I go back with South Carolina now. I'm from New York, but I kind of got a South Carolina resident. I go all the way back to Gospel Francina and Nero Tender.
Nero, yeah.
Bumpsy and the Redeemers.
Bumpsy, oh, you calling them now. Yeah, you calling some good ones now.
I was on some of Loretta Coleman's first concert.
Yeah, definitely. You listen, you got your foot down in the mud down here in South Carolina. You got presence down here.
And what's my man in them? Reverend Curtis Watson's group, pouring water on a drowning man.
Yeah. Oh man, you calling them now?
Those are my groups. And what's the other guy? The Pretty Ricky guy with the long jerseys, the Rising Stars.
Yes, from East Coast, the Indian boys. Yeah. Whoa, wait a minute now. Ain't no Pretty Ricky now. That's just the Indian boy. They got that good hair. Yeah, man. The Rising Stars. Hey, the Rising Stars, Bump Center Redeemers.
Oh, yeah.
Camden Crusaders. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I remember. Man, I remember when Cheryl Snell was a teenager.
No. Wait a minute.
Yes, sir. Going to Bull Swamp in Orangeburg. Or what was it? Mother Mary Myers and the Teens of Joy, man. At Bull Swamp and Harry Govan. Man, don't get me started, man. I'm going back.
Hey, we gonna have to do a part 2. You got too much knowledge, man. You listen, we gonna have to do a part 2, and we just gonna have open mic and just let Keith just have the flow. It ain't gonna be no asking you no question.
I'm glad people are she getting her moment now. Man, I be trying to let them know. Do you know how long Flossie been singing, man?
Oh, man.
Hey, Flossie was when we recorded Be Right, Flossie was there part of the production company, man. That's my people. Flossie been at it a long time, man.
Wow.
I'm happy, Doc.
Again, the history and the knowledge you got, Doc. You gonna listen, you ever thought about doing a documentary?
I'm talking to some people now. I'm trying to get the right production, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, everybody got a laptop and a camera now. You can get Bobo and Skeeton to do it. Oh, listen, real quick. The last person I'm gonna ask about. Tell me something about the legendary Bobo.
Who?
Bobo, the legendary drummer for the Volunteers. Bobo and for the Pip. Yeah.
I remember one time we were so happy. We was in Washington, D.C. The legendary Miss Rosetta Thompson, the late great Miss Rosetta Thompson, who's the wife of Mr. Suge Tyson from the Nightingale. She was the promoter. Okay. And we were so happy to be on the show. They had the sound system and everything. They ain't have no drums. So we set our drums up. And man, the Volunteers was on that show, man. And Bobo bust every skin on the drum besides the bass drum. And they gonna give us $10. Tell me, hey man, let this take care of you, man. They gonna tell me you should have set them up. You knew I was coming. That joker bust every skin on the drum. It gave us $10. $10.
Well, listen, man. Hey, I'm gonna let you go because I can see right now you done turn your hat. just slightly to the side. You ready to roll right now? I gotta let you go. Listen. I bet you got all type of stories coming up in your head now. You ready to set it off?
I started running
Yeah.
it back, Doc.
Man, listen, we gonna have to do a part 2, man. Listen, everybody go to Facebook, go to IG. I know some people gonna come back and watch this here later. I know it's football season. Listen, go and what the doggone screen went blank. Go and every platform from the internet that Keith Wonderboy is a part of. Make sure you subscribe, join, and like. Do you ever feel like, I already know the answer, but do you ever feel like you would ever drop the name Wonderboy?
Oh, nah. It's over. My daddy already told me, if Little Richard can be 90-something and still go by Little Richard, the Wonderboy name ain't going nowhere. My daddy already confirmed that.
Daddy done spoke it, and that's just the way it is. All right, bro. Hey, man, I'm gonna let you go this time. I appreciate you. I'm gonna go back and call some of the people names who are definitely on here. And I don't know if you know some of these names. Linda Glassboro, Shayna Marie.
That's Charlie.
Shayna said,
That's Charlie from Florida.
Okay. She said you are a historian. I ain't fooling with you.
Hey, man, I appreciate this opportunity. Y'all pray for me. I'm going to do the same for y'all. Things are going to get better. Quartet, we going to keep it alive. God bless y'all.
All right, brother. Hey, man, I love you, man. We'll talk, Keith. Y'all, listen, let me go back from the top. Keith, listen, Keith, man, good brother, down to earth, a man with many accolades, many talents, many accomplishments. Took the time out to spend time with little old me today. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna finish up some of these names here. Let me. Loretta Henderson, thank you for tuning in. Deidre Harvey, what's going on, sis? How you doing, Deidre? My doggone computer's starting to act up. Cheryl Snell, as always, a C Snell production. She's having a program this coming Sunday. Matter of fact, let me read it. And then I'm going to go ahead and get off here. C Snell production renews debut September the 25th. Doors open at 4. Program starts at 5. $20 at the door, ages 6 to 12, $5, $500 free. Where Aiken Technical College, 2276 Jefferson Davis Highway, Graniteville, South Carolina, 29829. For more information, dial Francina Tyler at 803-646-0779 or Cheryl Snell at 803-479-5489. On this program will be none other than the legendary Tommy Ellison's legendary singing stars, Reverend Matthew Miggins and New Highway Travelers, Roy and Revelation, the Anointed Angels, the Gospel Originals, Pastor Bobby Coins and Men of Praise, together, Tanez and Uniquely Favored, Bishop Billy Smith, and the mission ceremonies will be none other than Cheryl Snell. Is this? I don't know which Anointed Angels is this. Let me see. I got to make sure I know which one it is. Okay, those are Anointed Angels of Columbia. So y'all please support Sister Cheryl Snell, one of the most she's a upcoming, not quartet because she already got that locked down, but she's going to be one of the biggest gospel promoters coming from outside. All right. And we got Connie Burf tuned in. We got Pastor Bruce Robinson of City of Hope doing big things. Matter of fact, Bruce, get ready because you next. I need you on the interview. You doing big things over there at the big city, baby. I remember when the City of Hope was the spot for us to go on Friday and Saturday night and get our skate on. And now, brother Pastor Bruce Robinson got the spot where we can go over there now and get our praise on. So, brother, I will be visiting your church in any way, shape, form, or fashion I can help promote or either advertise. Hit me up. Let's talk about it. I believe this here was Kevin Joyner saying what's up, and he was saying that the road will make you a man. Cedric's I always pack for a week just to do a weekend. Yeah, you like me. When I went packing, I didn't care if we was saying we was coming back the same day or the next night early morning. I always had extra. Yeah, I mean, because down that road, you never know. Helen Osborne saying, "Hey," Cedric again said he ended up 3 hours the wrong way looking for 75 north off of 40. Man, some of these. Francis Suber, what's going on, Francis? Thanks for tuning in. And my friend, Gospel Radio Francina, Keith Wonderboy Johnson said she was one of the first ones that brought him to Columbia. Guys, I had an awesome time. Keith Wonderboy was my first high-profile guest on the show. That's right, high-profile. And listen, we talked about the respect of the industry. Now we talked about the history of the industry. Listen, guys, please go back and share this live. It was a good one. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and get off. I enjoyed it. Maybe the game getting ready to come on or whatever. Y'all enjoy yourselves. And y'all pray for me as Sunday. I have to preach North Carolina, the Reverend Dr. Sonny Bridges 13th pastoral anniversary. I'll be preaching that Sunday morning. So pray my strength to the Lord. Pray that God will use me, and only what needs to come out will be what He has to say to His said people. I pray for my safe travels there, and pray for my safe arrival back home. All right. Now, yeah, I ain't got nothing else to say. Y'all get off it. Get off my line. I ain't want to talk to y'all. Wait a minute. Let me see. Let me make sure ain't nobody else. Let me make sure ain't nobody else came on here and wanted to. Robert Gunn is on here. What's going on, Robert? Dwayne Atkinson was on here. Bernice G. Scott. Bernice, what's going on? How you doing? Mitchell, what's going on, Mitchell? Regina Gibson was on here. Dale Baker was on here. All right. Kimberly Austin Wood was on here. Albert J. England Jr. Heather Lee Rash was on here. Craig Stooks was on here. Jacoby Smith was on here. Joyce Dean Mickens was on here. Oh, man, I had a lot of people that was on here. I don't know why. Adonis Bowell, Lynn Yancey, and 6 others. I don't know why I can't see y'all names on here and stuff. But thank y'all for tuning in, man. I really listen, y'all pray for me because my sore throat, man. Ever since my family reunion this past weekend, and boy, I'm gonna tell you something. I had a wing dingy, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now, I had a wing dingy. Boy, we had a good time at the We Bolton Strong family reunion. That's my mama's side of the family. Boy, when I tell you we had a wing dingy, boy, look at him. My voice all the way from last Saturday is still raspy, and I gotta preach Sunday, but that's what the microphones are for, yeah. Kevin Joyner, man, listen, you supposed to get with me, man. Get with me. My wife probably gonna start on that show on Sunday's show tonight. So get with me. Cheryl, I got you. I got the information you sent for me, Cheryl. I got you. And y'all listen, go check everybody else's platform and see what they're charging to promote your stuff. Yep. Now let me tell you something. Let me give y'all some game. On my lives, you might not see big numbers on the live, but according to the books, according to what I want to call it, according to the specs, hundreds of people come back and watch the show later on. So I might not have 100, 200, 300 viewers live, but the data shows that on my lives, on the early morning praise, as well as on the podcast, the data shows that sometimes even up to 1,000 people always come back and watch. So listen, go see what their advertising prices is and come back and see me. Do that. All right. We can advertise for you and we'll get your information out. Y'all, this your boy Todd Mickens. I'll be going in 30 minutes. Well, excuse me, in 30 seconds. Remember, I love you, you love me. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Peace.